did the sparrows go this year? When the first maple leaves turn brown, I count the slate tiles on the roof and watch my breath drift slowly down. Traffic hums below the concrete ridge, an old trombone plays somewhere through the wall. My hands stay buried deep inside my coat, waiting for the temperature to fall. Frost patterns trace the glass beside my bed. I stir my coffee while the clock ticks slow. A stranger drops his keys upon the stone, while overhead the heavy clouds hang low. Dried mustard stems break in the vacant lot. Beside a rusted chassis from a truck, I kick a frozen pebble down the drain and wonder if the city runs on luck. The rooftop antennas bend against the gust. Street lights flicker on before the dark. A stray cat picks a path through yellow weeds across the gravel of the empty park. Frost patterns trace the glass beside my bed. I stir my coffee while the clock ticks slow. A stranger drops his keys upon the stone, while overhead the heavy clouds hang low. The copper gutters ping as ice expands. I lock the inner latch and turn the key. Another season settles on the floor and leaves no room for anyone but me. One dry clementine peel curls against the glass saucer, stiff as leather under the desk lamp. Outside the river valley gives up its green and pulls the chill down through the ceiling vent. I roll my flannel sleeves up to the elbow, watching the afternoon flatten into evening. The crows on the transformer line are trading places. The humidity broke while I was resting on the couch. I watch the geese cut a wedge through gray slate skies and feel the floorboards contract beneath my socks. Autumn drops its copper coins across the avenue. The timber in the foothills trades its gold for rust. A man learns how to walk slower through the sudden chill, letting the season settle like pale mountain dust. I scrape the dried red loam from my boot treads, letting it crumble into an old paper sack. The alder trees behind the garage stand bare tonight like skinny masts against the darkening ridge. My breath forms brief white plumes above the mug and disappears before it hits the window pane. Autumn drops its copper coins across the avenue. The timber in the foothills trades its gold for rust. A man learns how to walk slower through the sudden chill, letting the season settle like pale mountain dust. Nature doesn't bargain when the cold front drops in fast. The creek freezes from the edges while the center flows. I turn the radiator knob until the iron groans, watching birch bark peel like parchment in the ditch below. The clementine peel snaps brittle under my thumb. A northern gust rattles the storm sash in its frame. Winter keeps its own quiet calendar out here, and I know better than to ask it to explain. Cracked acorn cap rests beside my lighter, picked up on the trail before the frost grew tight. The city trees outside are stripped down to the bark, dropping rusty leaves before it turns to dark. I count the little rings along the cedar grain, watching condensation bleed across the window pane. The wind is shifting south across the park, chasing crows into the power lines. I pull my heavy sweater tight against the chill, tracing patterns on the wooden sill. The first hard freeze is settling in the street, while autumn packs its bags under my feet. I watch the yellow canopy turn thin and gray, letting all the tangled branches clear the way. Now winter makes a quiet claim on everything I know, and I am learning how to let the garden go. I roll the tiny shell between two calloused thumbs, listening for the low bass as the traffic hums. The river down the hill is running slow and clear, freezing at the edges like it does each year. My breath is hanging soft inside this drafty room, trading summer green for pale November bloom. The wind is shifting south across the park, chasing crows into the power lines. I pull my heavy sweater tight against the chill, tracing patterns on the wooden sill. The first hard freeze is settling in the street, while autumn packs its bags under my feet. I watch the yellow canopy turn thin and gray, letting all the tangled branches clear the way. Now winter makes a quiet claim on everything I know, and I am learning how to let the garden go. There is a calendar taped up behind the stove, marking every change of season in this grove. The dirt goes dormant till the early spring returns, while something steady in my chest quietly burns. The acorn cap is resting in the fading light. The thermostat just clicked into the night. Another layer on the bed, another coat pinned on the door, as frost begins to creep across the second floor. Thick corduroy ribs dragging against the desk, catch on the splintered oak corner where I sit. The fabric is worn thin at both my wrists, stiff from the dried creek silk that never quit. Outside, the October breeze bends the birch branches low, shaking the brittle gold into the street below. The chill slips inside through the gap in the sill. Suddenly I am 19 again on that muddy hill. Cold river water soaked past our heavy leather boots, while autumn hemlock shook loose its bitter fragrant seeds. We traced the bend down past tangled alder roots, listening to the wind flatten all the yellow reeds. You tucked your frozen hands inside my oversized coat, watching dried cedar bark drift like an empty boat. I rubbed the stiff velvet wheels between two fingers now, smelling the faint trace of peat and river stone. The seasonal shift pulls a shadow across my brow, leaving me sitting in this room distinctly alone. Rain begins tapping on the air conditioner grate, marking the exact minute the weather turns late. A northern front drops down from the mountain crest, stripping every sycamore leaf down to pale gray bone. That November afternoon settled deep inside my chest, a quiet weather pattern I have always known. The corduroy softens as the room cools down. Puddles form rings on the asphalt outside. Every maple leaf turns copper and drowns. The river keeps whatever we try to hide.
A metal roll-up gate screeches open 2 blocks down. The alley cat ignores it, shaking rainwater from its coat. I brought 2 paper cups before the ice could drown, and stood beneath the awning where the cedar branches float. You left your bedroom blinds pulled all the way tight, still sleeping off the summer like it owes you another night. Hear that breeze rattle through the fire escape. The heavy humidity broke while we were not looking. Every green canopy is shifting into another shape. The pavement dries in patches where the maple threw its shade. So lace your battered sneakers and step past the doorway frame. We watch the chilly river take the heat that August made, while autumn counts the city blocks and calls us both by name. Calls us both by name. A delivery bike skids softly on a drift of yellow birch. You stumble down the stairwell with your collar folded wrong. The sparrows leave the power wires for the brickwork of the church, and even distant sirens slow to keep the sidewalk calm. Take your cup while the cardboard sleeve is warm. We have an hour left before the afternoon transforms. Feel that draft cutting down the avenue. The calendar is trading out its hours. Nature never asked if we are ready for the new. The pavement dries in patches where the maple threw its shade. So lace your battered sneakers and step past the doorway frame. We watch the chilly river take the heat that August made, while autumn counts the city blocks and calls us both by name. Remember when we sat out on the roof in mid-July,
swearing that the heavy heat would never let us breathe. Now the frost is waiting quietly inside an open sky, and neither one of us is in a hurry here to leave. Zip your pockets up against the sudden breeze. The crosswalk clears as the gray clouds roll through. I will match your stride under the rustling trees, just walking through the change with you. Does the moss remember when the patio was stone? I pressed my thumb into a thawing patch of lawn. Low register, roads chords drift from the windowsill. The neighbor's wind chime clinks against the cedar hill. Steam rises off my collar as the jacket starts to warm. Another cloud bank gathers, pretending it's a storm. I watch a grackle land upon an iron drain. It tilts its head and looks for last October's grain. My boots are caked with yellow pollen from the drive. It takes 3 weeks of thaw to feel alive. Cold air retreats along the alleyway in gray and sodden layers. I shovel damp mulch round the roots while listening to players spinning vinyl in the apartment house across the gravel road. The season trades its heavy overcoat to drop a lighter load. And green shoots pierce the rotten mulch before the frost can settle. My knuckles ache from turning over river rock and lime. The afternoon just blurs into a hazy rhythm time. A robin pulls a worm from where the puddle used to stand. I wipe black topsoil off the callous knuckle of my hand. The breeze smells like chopped pine needles in sudden summer heat. A stray cat walks the fence line with its muddy little feet. The drainage ditch is humming with the trickle from the snow. I wonder where the dormant field mice decided they should go. The shade pulls back like fabric from the southern garden bed. A dozen drifting memories are circling my head. Cold air retreats along the alleyway in gray and sodden layers. I shovel damp mulch round the roots while listening to players spinning vinyl in the apartment house across the gravel road. The season trades its heavy overcoat to drop a lighter load. And green shoots pierce the rotten mulch before the frost can settle. Roots underneath the blacktop split the yellow traffic paint. I hear the distant whistle of an engine running faint. A solitary man just pacing out the changing fence. The way the weather turns from gray to green without a sense of ever asking permission from the concrete or the stone. A damp wind catches in my canvas coat. I watch the river ferry drift afloat. The question fades out with the falling light. Just earth and rhythm settling for night. Tangerine grease floods the gravel turnout, staining every park sedan a rusty gold. An older man adjusts his faded cap, scraping burrs off a wool lapel. He points his thermos toward the tree-lined slope, clear in his throat before the engine idles down. He tells me black walnuts fall before the frost, and when their hulls turn soft, the soil drinks the rot. I shift my boots against the cedar chips, nodding slow while the wind picks up. The river valley trades its summer greens for slate. A sudden freeze will make the timber crack by night. We watch the heavy crows dispute an empty crate. Two strangers counting crows along the power line. No timetable can keep the hemlock branches straight when autumn strips the bark and leaves the wood to shine. He taps a scuffed work boot on the curb, unwrapping half a sandwich from the foil. He says he laid down slate in '68, back when the creek ran deep enough to drown a dog. Now half the riverbed is dry gray shale, and saplings choke the narrows where the canoe steered. The shadow lengthens past the pump house door. We share the silence like a blanket on the bench. He says the yellow jackets nest down deep this year, a sign that winter means to stay and dig its heels. The river valley trades its summer greens for slate. A sudden freeze will make the timber crack by night. We watch the heavy crows dispute an empty crate. Two strangers counting crows along the power line. No timetable can keep the hemlock branches straight when autumn strips the bark and leaves the wood to shine. A diesel bus pulls round the gravel curve, its headlamps cutting through the falling dusk. He stands up slow, his knees complaining twice, and leaves 3 dried buckeyes on the wooden sled. I pick one up and roll it in my palm. The road ahead smells cold and full of pine. The yellow bus door folds away to let us in.
A sudden arithmetic clears my mind, while traffic slows to a frozen crawl. I watch the breath leave my mouth behind and settle down on the station wall. The heavy coat I bought last year still smells of rain and wooden floor. An empty subway car rolls past the glass, with yellow light and flickering on steel. The autumn leaves are freezing in the grass, while midnight proves how heavy boots can feel. A paper cup rolls across the street, driven along by a bitter gust. The traffic signal switches incomplete and paints the pavement orange in the dust. My frozen fingers fumble at the seam to find the lighter buried in my palm. An empty subway car rolls past the glass, with yellow lighting flickering on steel. The autumn leaves are freezing in the grass, while midnight proves how heavy boots can feel.
blocks of gray, where brick facades are holding back the chill. I have no place I need to be today, just watching winter settle on the hill. The copper coins are heavy in my pocket. The corner store is pulling down the shade. A distant train begins to pick up speed into the dark where every sound is made. The faint aroma of roasted sesame oil drifted off the corner cart, while Leo zipped his parka high against the early autumn bite. He watched the subway grate exhale a plume of gray smoke into dark, and checked his watch to gauge the fading afternoon light. A pigeon strutted past a heap of crushed brown leaves. He wondered where his brother hid his spare apartment keys. Across the avenue, a rusted neon sign began to buzz. He paid the vendor exact change for what the evening was. October winds pushed empty cans along the concrete floor. He locked his bike and turned his shoulder to the heavy door. The hallway floorboards groaned beneath his tired leather shoes. He dropped the bag of groceries beside the kitchen sink. The radiator hissed a rusty rhythmic autumn blues. He poured a glass of tap water to stop and think. Through thin apartments came the muffled sound of plates and spoons. He pulled the dusty blinds against the rising copper moons. Across the avenue, a rusted neon sign began to buzz. He paid the vendor exact change for what the evening was. October winds pushed empty cans along the concrete floor. He locked his bike and turned his shoulder to the heavy door. He left the jacket on the hook and felt the quiet room. Seasons shift without a warning in the concrete gloom. The sesame scent dissolved into the indoor chill. He stood beside the dark window and watched the street grow still. Hey, 16 crimson numerals cut the dark above the radiator humming low. In 2038 we'll walk this park when synthetic maples finally learn to grow. You'll be pouring water through a copper spout while the autumn mist rolls heavy around the glass. I check my sleeve for lint from 24 before we step outside to count the floor. Virtual touches fake a morning flight across the gray holographic light. We trade our old memories for cleaner air, though neither of us knows who planted that pear. Your smart lens dims to block the glaring street, where autonomous cabs roll by without a sound. We talk about the seasons at a sinking beat, how real October leaves used to litter the ground. I keep my hands deep inside a wool-lined coat, watching digital geese migrate south and remote. 20 years from now the climate app will beep, warning us the frost is running 2 weeks late, while you adjust the thermostat to help me sleep. And I calculate the distance to our garden gate. 16 numerals fade into blue. I am older now and so are you. Even in the glass world we built today, I still miss the way real mud smelled of decay. You swore yesterday that all the trees weep actual salt once October begins. I walk by the park just to press my thumb against the gray bark where the split wood thins. No salt on my skin, just the cedar dust and damp river mud sticking tight to the heel. A paper wash crawls on the rusty gate, moving too slow as the chill sets in. The neighbor's tin roof starts to vibrate from 22 starlings with needles for wings. The drainage ditch caught 7 yellow leaves. A copper beetle drowned inside an empty tin. The cold air gathers in my flannel sleeves, while autumn scrapes the sidewalk paper thin. I count each broken stalk of goldenrod and leave my heavy boots upon the sod. You laughed yesterday about geese flying low, like they lost the compass they usually carry. Now 2 overhead make a jagged turn above the small garden where wild onions tarry. The moss on the curb holds a puddle of dew, a stray plastic lighter half buried in loam. 1 caterpillar curled upon the slate, 3 walnut shells cracked open on the tar. I watch how the season forgets what to make and measures the distance between where we are. The drainage ditch caught 7 yellow leaves. A copper beetle drowned inside an empty tin. The cold air gathers in my flannel sleeves, while autumn scrapes the sidewalk paper thin. I count each broken stalk of goldenrod and leave my heavy boots upon the sod. You said the cold always arrives on Tuesday. The alder bark is dry today. A dragonfly lands on my knuckle. The wind blows the dandelion away. You said yesterday the maples turned too fast, dripping down the copper coast before the bills arrived. I found a rusted washer sitting in the wet grass, right where the curb meets the asphalt drive. A pigeon stands on one thin stick, blinking at the bakery vent. A Kiwin carries diesel and damp brick. Every corner smells like money spent. Old men drag heavy garbage bags past the laundry sign. Dry cleaner's neon letter T gave out around 9. A stray orange peel sits frozen inside a gutter drain. And I forgot my gloves again. Two pigeons fight over half a dry pretzel crust right by the bus stop with the broken glass. My coat zipper sticks in the autumn rust, watching the school kids let the crosswalk pass. Small things pile up when the weather turns cold. A bent subway ticket, a stack of old news, the weight of a Two pigeons fight over half a dry pretzel crust right by the bus stop with the broken glass. My coat zipper sticks in the autumn rust, watching the school kids let the crosswalk pass. Small things pile up when the weather turns cold. A bent subway ticket, a stack of Two pigeons fight over half a dry pretzel crust right by the bus stop with the broken glass. My coat zipper sticks in the autumn rust, watching the school kids let the crosswalk pass. A pigeon stands on one thin stick, blinking at the bakery vent. A Kiwin carries diesel and damp brick. Every corner smells like money spent. Small things pile up when the weather turns cold. A bent subway ticket, a stack of old news, the weight of a sweater that's 2 seasons old, and walking too fast in these thin salt shoes. A pigeon stands on one thin stick, blinking at the bakery vent. A Kiwin carries diesel and damp brick. Every corner smells like money spent. Pigeon stands on one thin stick. Ooh, a pigeon stands on one thin stick.
Yesterday you told me when it tastes like pennies on the tongue. I count 7 rusted spokes spinning slow on 21st. A puddle holds an oily rim where the diesel truck's reversed. A sparrow takes 3 hops across the frost and leaves a trace. The cold air settles heavy on the stubble on my face. A blue tarp flaps against a row of stacked cement. The butcher pulls his shutters down before the noon is spent. The season turns in fractions that you notice on your sleeve. A breath of steam that lingers when a person turns to leave. Cardboard boxes soak up drizzle by the corner flower stand. The baker scatters flour while the gravel turns to sand. Stray cats patrol the alleyway beside the cooling vent as November claims the change that October never spent. Yellow umbrellas tilt against the coming evening freeze. Low wind collects the wrappers shaking loose around my knees. 2 workers share a thermos cup of roasted barley tea. A beetle crawls along the bark of an ailanthus tree. The asphalt keeps a footprint where a runner broke his stride. Dry ivy clicks against the brick along the riverside. A green sedan is 30 flyers trapped beneath its blade. The shadow of the water tower stretches to the park. A mother zips her toddler's coat against the creeping dark. The salt trucks are waiting
in the district yard. Every tiny living thing is learning to be hard. You said yesterday the cold would make the river slow. I see two pigeons pecking at a crust of sourdough. The street lamp hums a tone before it flickers into white. Another little detail lost inside the coming night.
Saffron violet glare washes down the tramway stop. A man in grease-stained canvas watches poplar branches drop. He taps his cardboard coffee cup against the metal rail. Asks me if I noticed how the evening air turns pale. I pull my collar higher as the cold begins to bite, nodding at the yellow leaves that scatter out of sight. The wind rolls off the reservoir with heavy river mist, turning all the iron railings damp against my wrist. He told me that the northern front arrives before the dark, to watch the way the starlings dive across the frozen park. I checked my watch and realized my transfer had expired, while seasons swapped their jackets in the quiet we acquired. He pointed to the willow bark that stripped away like skin. Said November teaches trees exactly how to thin. I told him I was moving north before the month was through, to where the mountain laurel drinks the early morning dew. He said the soil up there will hold the winter in its chest. A man who knows the timberland can put his doubts to rest. Headlights sweep across our shoes in long electric lines. The city hums beneath the roof of shivering white pines. We do not trade our names or where we parked our beat-up cars. Just stand together breathing underneath the clouded stars. He told me that the northern front arrives before the dark, to watch the way the starlings dive across the frozen park. I checked my watch and realized my transfer had expired, while seasons swapped their jackets in the quiet we acquired. The eastbound tram squeals slowly round the bend. He buttons up his overcoat and waves like an old friend. The saffron violet glare gives way to blue. The frost takes over everything it knew. Butterscotch light spills across the bench, cutting through the smog of early March. The stranger in a trench coat clears his throat, points his walking stick toward the arch. He says the birch trees behind the rail yard are blooming earlier than 30 years ago.
I shift my collar up against the breeze, wondering how fast the soil can thaw below. He watches the clouds roll in slow and gray, tapping his boot to an unwritten groove. Tells me the seasons don't ask our permission to pack up their bags and just move. The river swells before the frost completely breaks. A sudden green appears along the concrete cracks. He folds his newspaper to hide his shivering hands and whispers warnings about what the weather lacks. We trade a silent nod before the westbound whistle blows, leaving the platform clean as April melts the snows. Amber tint fades down into twilight slate. Shadows stretch across the rusted tracks. He tells me robins left the valley floor, drawn to the mountains by the thermal stacks. I check my watch and ask him where he's bound. He laughs and says wherever hemlocks grow. Two lonely men discussing root and branch while city engines hum a tempo down below. It feels so strange to share a passing thought with someone whose address I will never learn. We spoke of southern warmth and riverbanks, and how the shortest days refuse to return. The river swells before the frost completely breaks. A sudden green appears along the concrete cracks. He folds his newspaper to hide his shivering hands and whispers warnings about what the weather lacks. We trade a silent nod before the westbound whistle blows, leaving the platform clean as April melts the snows. Headlights arrive in silver streaks. He climbs aboard car number 9. The evening air smells like damp pine, and winter slips behind the line. Fermenting crab apples rot on the stones, releasing sweet vinegar into the cold. He tucks both his hands in a hand-me-down coat, ignoring the chill settling into his bones. The willow drops yellow along the canal, where rusted iron barrels sit close to the wall. He scrapes off the mud with a piece of dry slate. The river is turning from silver to gray as northern geese follow the breeze on its way, erasing the remnant of summer's delay. He loads up the burlap with walnuts and bark before the low valley turns suddenly dark. The frost climbs the ironwork railing in lines, and winter takes root in the overgrown vines. Wet cedar and diesel drift over the slope, where someone left tangled an old nylon rope. He snaps off a twig just to see if it bends and watches the flock round the culvert and descend. The maple tree drops half its weight without sound. A copper quilt settling on hard-bitten ground. Long shadows stretch thin from the telephone poles. A field mouse runs under the bramble and moles. He counts 3 sharp gusts hitting hard on his back, then steps past the gravel and off of the track. He loads up the burlap with walnuts and bark before the low valley turns suddenly dark. The frost climbs the ironwork railing in lines, and winter takes root in the overgrown vines. The dusk smells like wood smoke and riverbed clay. He walks by the fence where the sumac turns red. Another short autumn is put to its bed, and he carries home what the earth gave away. Burnt apricot light floods down the crosswalk ramp, where yellow Ginkgo fans paced flat against the stone. An older man in tweed pulls closer to the lamp, taps out his wooden pipe and asks if I walked here alone. I pull my collar high, admit I lost my train, watching the late fall dust bleed purple on his coat. He points his wooden cane toward the river bend, where willow branches strip and rattle in the chill. He says the seasons don't negotiate, my friend. They take the marrow first, and then they take the hill. The cold front settles heavy on our shared exhaust. A stranger's bench turns warm beneath the wool divide. We watch the gutter water crystallize to frost, while city buses drag the drifting leaves aside. He tells me how the geese flew south 3 weeks ahead, a sign the mountain snow will choke the valley floor. I tell him how my father planted cabbage beds whenever north wind started rattling our door. We trade these little scraps of weather like a loan, 2 men who never met beneath an amber sky. He checks an iron watch and buttons up his vest. The bare branch silhouettes begin to blur in gray. You learn to love the stripped down trees. He takes a breath, because they show you what survived along the way. A gust of sudden sleet hits on the plexiglass, scattering paper cups across the frozen grass. I offer him my bench room as the headlights flare. We watch our twin breaths tangle in the biting air. The cold front settles heavy on our shared exhaust. A stranger's bench turns warm beneath the wool divide. We watch The gutter water crystallized to frost, while city buses drag the drifting leaves aside. His taillights disappear down maple-lined avenues. The yellow haze gives way to winter navy blues. I pull my gloves back on and step into the street, leaving 2 sets of tracks in early evening sleep. How much water can a birch branch hold before it gives in to the wind? I asked the hedge along the alleyway, rubbing sap between my knuckles. The yellow ferns are folding under rain. It started Tuesday night. My boots track gravel past the fence line, cold mud creeping up the seam. The seasons pivot on a dime while I count crows along the wire. I forgot my knit cap in the hallway again. The damp air settles right beneath my collar. Every leaf that drops is just another calendar square torn away. The autumn current carries broken twigs down the storm drain pipe. I watch the cedar needles drift until the muddy water clears. Sudden frost will turn these garden plots to brittle glass. Tonight I pull my heavy corduroy tighter against the turn of the year. There is a robin digging under mulch that smells like rotting clover. I wonder if he knows the ground will turn like iron before November ends. My brother called at noon to ask if I had drained the garden hose. I told him yes, but really I just sat outside and watched the sparrows scatter. The sky is turning that specific slate gray that smells of distant wood smoke. The autumn current carries broken twigs down the storm drain pipe. I watch the cedar needles drift until the muddy water clears. A sudden frost will turn these garden plots to brittle glass. Tonight I pull my heavy corduroy tighter against the turn of the year. Roots go searching through the dark while men keep checking on their watches. A squirrel caches walnuts underneath the loose brick by the stoop. The whole earth prepares for sleep without making a sound or a scene. I exhale a pocket of white mist and let the rhythm find its groove. Sap dries dark upon my index finger. Another gust rattles the corrugated shed roof. The birch branch bends, holds on, and does not break. I step inside before the first sleet hits the glass. This brass lighter hinge holds one bent needle, picked up yesterday down along the gravel trail. I flick the wheel, but nothing catches fire, just dust and cedar pollen in the stale. Warm pocket air of late September drifting in. The maples turn before I buy my winter coat. Every autumn hits like an unread text, asking where the summer went and what comes next. I tap my thumb against the glass, watching yellow poplars trade their shade for brass. The valley trades green velvet for a brittle brown. Cold river winds begin to push the swallows down. I stack 3 cords of split birch by the kitchen wall, while geese draw broken arrows through the northern squall. And suddenly the quiet feels entirely mine. I stir black coffee with a wooden spoon. The window pane is fogging at the lower edge. A chipmunk darts across the patio stones, burying black walnuts underneath the private hedge. My breath shows faint before the noon hour settles. I pull my collar high and watch the frost recede. The valley trades green velvet for a brittle brown. Cold river winds begin to push the swallows down. I stack 3 cords of split birch by the kitchen wall, while geese draw broken arrows through the northern squall. And suddenly the quiet feels entirely mine. I used to dread the dying grass and strip bare limbs, the way the early twilight drowns the mountain rims. Now every falling canopy reveals the sky, a wider ceiling for a solitary guy who learns to let the colder weather take its turn. The screen door rattles on its rusted spring. A dry wind carries over what the hemlocks bring. I set the lighter down upon the oak grain rings and watch the shadow stretch across the floor.
A delivery van shifts hard into second gear. Below our landing on the asphalt here, you are tying your laces on the rug, with a mug of dark roast in a chip blue mug. October wind has dried the courtyard ferns, and every traffic light ahead just turns. You walk beside the brick wall where the ivy dies, while autumn dust is settling in both our eyes. We cross the avenue before the crosswalk blinks, and neither of us mentions what the weather thinks. The butcher sweeps his sidewalk with a wire broom, while we carry the silence from the spare bedroom. Your coat is unbuttoned against the morning chill, and our favorite diner is sitting up the hill. The pigeons scatter when a taxi breaks too fast. We talk about the future like it's already past. You walk beside the brick wall where the ivy dies, while autumn dust is settling in both our eyes. We cross the avenue before the crosswalk blinks, and neither of us mentions what the weather thinks. I still have the parking stub inside my coat from that weekend ferry near the harbor boat. Seasons shift their color when we turn the page,
leaving 20-something habits on the middle stage. The second gear whine fades down the block as we check our watches for the 10 o'clock. We keep on walking through the fallen gray and let the changing weather have its way. A stray thought cuts through the quiet room like a key turning in a lock I forgot existed. The vinyl spins a dull warm tone as October leaves stick to the glass outside. I lace up leather boots worn thin at the heel. Step past the hallway where the mail piles high. Cold wind drops down from the northern ridge. I trace your shadow by the brick station wall. Heavy traffic hums across the concrete bridge, while cedar smoke trails off into the fall. Yeah. The corner diner smells of grease and damp wool. A neon sign flickers through the greasy pane. I leave exact change beside a porcelain cup, watching wet tires carve tracks in the lane. My collar stays turned up against the gust. The afternoon fades to a slate gray dusk. Cold wind drops down from the northern ridge. I trace your shadow by the brick station wall. Heavy traffic hums across the concrete bridge, while cedar smoke trails off into the fall. Street lamps buzz to life above the empty tracks. My breath forms small white clouds in the draft. No reason to look back at the path I took. Just walking south as the temperature drops. An alley cat dashes behind the trash bins. The iron gate swings slow in the rising chill. I walk another block into the gathering dark and leave the silence sitting on the windowsill. Yeah. Yeah. The sharp scent of bruised garden mint leaks through the alley grate. He tightens up his wool scarf against the sudden drop in air. The yellow and maples let their first dry leaves abate, while he counts the silver change inside his coat with quiet care. The city slowly shifts its tone from gold to slate. He steps across the curbside drain, watching autumn settle in his shoes. A sudden sweep of northern rain washes out the heavy summer blues. He tracks the wild geese cutting through the overcast sky, trading humid August asphalt for a brisk October high. While the corner grocer stacks up crates of crisp red fruit, and the evening river wine begins to test his vintage suit. The cedar smoke from rooftop vents joins in the dampening breeze. He pauses by the newsstand bench to rest his tired knees. A flock of starlings dips beneath the stripped magnolia trees, chasing crumbs of toasted bread before the puddles freeze. He sinks his walking tempo to the rhythms of the earth. The seasons never ask him if he feels prepared to change. They simply pull the canopy and rearrange the view. He breathes the chilly timber in until it feels less strange, then crosses through the traffic lights to start the night anew.
Wet pine and fallen leaves beneath his stride. He turns his collar up into the dark. The river glimmers on the western side. He disappears into the amber park.
Nothing makes a sound until I wonder if the river kept its promise to freeze. The bedroom radiator ticks a slow syncopated pulse against the wall. Past the double pane glass, the sycamore trees drop their last curled leaves into the drainage ditch below. I pull on my heavy knit sweater and step outside into the gray. Pavement smells like wet gravel and sudden rain. The crow cuts a diagonal line across the reservoir. The calendar turns over without making a scene, leaving silver puddles where the grass used to green. Winter pulls his wool across the concrete bank, while cold river water fills a rusty gas tank. Past the corner grocery, yellow streetlights blink. Drifting slush slides into the storm drain, sinking every breath I release turns to temporary smoke. Yeah. Cables above the crosswalk swing in steady slow motion. The delivery van idles by the bodega, exhaust swirling pale. I count 3 stray sparrows balancing on an iron rail, watching frost form crystals on the edges of the sidewalk tile. The world moves in halftime under a sky the color of slate. Behind the brick garage, wild blackberries dried upon the vine, wrapped in spider webs and frost beneath the power line. Nobody rushes down the avenue today. We just tuck our hands in our pockets and watch the season turn away. One cold drop falls from the telephone wire. The chill settles deep into the soles of my boots. Everything waits for the soil to restart. I turn back inside before the evening comes down.
Yeah. A sudden question pierces the silent floor, wondering if the creek behind the barn ran dry. The porch steps creak beneath my leather boots, while yellow poplar leaves drift down from high. The valley sits between 2 different skies, one gray with rain and one of fading blue. A flock of grackles lifts in one clean sweep. The valley turns beneath the shifting draft. I pull my collar up against the breeze and watch the water carving out a path. Persimmons drop like copper coins across the dark ditch. Cattails bend toward the frozen river switch. Diesel smoke dissolves into the valley mist. Maple branches twist inside an icy wrist. Wild geese navigate the heavy cloud bank high. The iron pump is cold beneath my palm. Clear water spills across the weathered slate. A pheasant dashes through the flattened rye, then ducks below the rusted pasture gate. The smell of cedar mulch and river mud settles like velvet on the gravel bend. The hemlock needles carpet every trail. The low barometer begins to push the tide. I track the shadows stretching out too soon and leave the wooden tool shed open wide. Persimmons drop like copper coins across the dark ditch. Cattails bend toward the frozen river switch. Diesel smoke
Maple branches twist inside an icy wrist. Wild geese navigate the heavy cloud bank high. I built this stone stack 5 Novembers back before the willows split beneath the sleet. Now moss fills every crevice in the wall, cushioning the dirt beneath my feet. And winter moves in slow without a sound. Persimmons drop like copper coins across the dark ditch. Cattails bend toward the frozen river switch. Diesel smoke dissolves into the valley mist. Maple branches twist inside an icy wrist. Wild geese navigate the heavy cloud bank high. The last crow settles on the highest pine. Frost traces circles on the pickup glass. I count the seasons changing on the ridge. The valley breathes and lets another pass.
Hey. 347 glows against the bare wall. The kick drum settles in a muffled space. I picture 60 winters melting into squall, and you beside me in a quieter place. We have a gravel path beneath a tall pine, where moss invades the cracks along the stone. I see my calloused hands in 30 years, scraping late frost from ancient cedar eaves. The weather turns without our former fears, leaving us peaceful under heavy leaves. A grafted sapling breaks the thawed black soil. Cold mountain runoff feeds the valley floor. We wash off resin from an honest toil, and watch wild geese return along the northern shore. I will be silver at the temples then, hauling split birch across the dormant yard. The river swells and settles down again, while dust descends without pressing so hard. You hang your flannel coat beside the door frame, listening to meltwater drip from old tin. Before that distant decade comes to pass, before the warm winds out to every chart, I hold this vision clear as window glass. A dormant root deep running through my heart. Flickers into 8. The city hums through asphalt, damp and cool. Someday we meet that orchard at the gate, watching the green moss thicken by the pool.
Felted lamb's wool pulls across my thumb, rough where the seam gave out last fall. Suddenly I hear the swollen river hum, and watch the yellow poplar leaves start to crawl. The closet smells of rain and bitter bark, a phantom draft that rattles down the hall. The air had that sharp copper taste of frost. We walked the trail where cedar roots divide, counting every silver nickel we had lost, drifting with the slow November tide. Sleek glazed the gravel when you turned your head, snapping dry pine branches under heavy boots, spilling thermos tea over mosses, turning red, yeah, leaving silent footprints where the winter shoots, yeah. Coarse linen threads retain the scent of smoke, driftwood we burned down by the quarry wall. You tied a strip around a branch you broke and watched the icy resin freeze and fall. I tucked my icy hands inside my coat, listening to wild geese call. Now streetcars splash the salty downtown slush, neon signs blink amber on the wet concrete, yet pressing fingertips against this woven brush brings back the mountain gale that numbed my feet. Sleek glazed the gravel when you turned your head, snapping dry pine branches under heavy boots, spilling thermos tea over mosses, turning red, leaving silent footprints where the winter shoots. Worn cuff folded back into the cedar drawer, the chill of 29 recedes behind the glass. I feel the coming season knocking at my door, watching another stormy evening pass.
The weight of the chair on the linoleum floor still presses down where I sat before. 10,000 hours of staring at walls, waiting for autumn to turn into falls. You kept the mug with the broken off rim, drinking cold water when spirits were dim. Seasons would shift through the double pane glass, watching the shadows of strangers pass. I saved a seat by the window for you, back when your jacket was frayed at the blue. No one is knocking or turning the lock, time keeps on bleeding past 4 on the clock. Chestnut shells littered the sidewalk outside, nowhere for 20-something fears to hide. You wrote a list of the things to erase, never expecting to settle this place. Leaves turn to copper and fall in the street, dust settles thick on the unfinished sheet. I left the kitchen light burning for you, even though floorboards are rotting right through. The room is quiet and evening is deep, time that we finally got some sleep.
The weight of the chair on the parquet floor reminds me of 24. Reading books I barely understood, believing the noise was doing me good. Fall leaves pile up against the glass, I watch the 20s slowly pass. You thought the world was ending at 26, because a broken broken bicycle needed a fix. Seasons change without asking for your consent, while you worry about every single cent. Outside the subway, great steam up the street. I traced the mud on my sneakers' feet. You sat in the kitchen writing songs about fame while forgetting to call your mother by name. The chestnut husks break open in the park. We used to walk these blocks after dark. You thought the world was ending at 26, because a broken bicycle needed a fix. Seasons change without asking for your consent, while you worry about every single cent. I saved a seat for you right across from me, drinking bitter coffee without any sugar or tea. You would not believe how calm the river gets when you finally throw away your bitterest regrets. Just breathe the cold November air. I left the window open by the wooden chair. Fourteen glowing digits blink across the dash, while synthetic coffee cools inside my cup. Traffic hums a low frequency through the glass before the high altitude weather catches up. They promised automated rain by 2034. Instead we get this heavy fog against the 24th floor. Synthetic ivy scales the south facade. We monitor the maple leaf count on a screen. Calculators measure how the seasons change, while I wait for the air to turn pine green. Virtual ferns droop slightly from the ceiling mount, humidity programmed to mimic 1996. I trace the condensation down the double pane, wondering which automated system needs a fix. They promise permanent blue skies above the turbine park. Instead the ozone sensors flicker in the early dark. Synthetic ivy scales the south facade. We monitor the maple leaf count on a screen. Calculators measure how the seasons change, while I wait for the air to turn pine green. Yeah. Down on street level, the delivery drones buzz low, carrying soil packets for the rooftop rows. Nobody touches dirt with bare hands anymore, except for old men keeping secrets by the stove. Synthetic ivy scales the south facade. We monitor the maple leaf count on a screen. Calculators measure how the seasons change, while I wait for the air to turn pine green. 14 digits click to 15 now. The forecast says tomorrow brings real snow. I turn the thermostat down to 3 degrees and watch the simulated branches blow. That rough wool sleeve still scratches against my wrist. When autumn drags its knuckles down the avenue, I found a ticket stub tucked deep inside the hem, from half a decade back before I knew how fast the chestnut trees could drop their armor. A muted trumpet bleeds from someone's basement flat, while subway drafts kick up the dying leaves. Old corduroy remembers how your shoulder felt before the weather turned us both into strangers. We shared a single coat against the freezing rain. Now my dry cleaners ask me where the stains came from. The rhythm section rolls across the corner bar, while amber street lamps flicker in the falling dusk. I trace the freight seam running down the elbow patch and taste the phantom bitterness of chimney smoke. Seasons turn without a warning bell, just a drop in mercury and turning glass. I pull the zipper higher past my throat to trap the ghost of what we used to pass. The upright bass walks. The upright bass walks down a slow descending scale and disappears beneath the rattling iron grate. Just another heavy coat hanging by the door. That rough wool sleeve still scratches against my palm when autumn winds blow down this subway stair. I kept your heavy coat when you moved west and pulled the collar up to hide my stare. Copper leaves piled deep on concrete blocks. We shared one pair of gloves and walking socks. The sudden frost carved white lines in the street, while coffee warmth was fading from our seat. The yellow street lights flicker on the curb. I see our breath fog up the freezing glass. Before the yellow taxi took you home, we watched the final autumn shadows pass. A fallen branch snaps clean against the ground. Time moves backward at this exact sound. Copper leaves piled deep on concrete blocks. We shared one pair of gloves and walking socks. That sudden frost carved white lines in the street, while coffee warmth was fading from our seat. I dropped my hands inside the oversized pockets and walk alone against the rising chill. A copper coin sits cold beside my glass. I watch the shadows stretch across the grass. October wind is rattling the frame, and nobody is calling out my name. My shoes are dusty from the concrete street. I keep my rhythm to a heavy beat. The pavement cracks where silver maples grew, and I am tired of the autumn blue. Frost begins to bite the window screen. I count the days of what has never been. Smoke is rising from the corner boots are pacing on the floor. A pigeon pecks the crust upon the tin. I lock the boat and pull the curtains in. The air is sharp enough to cut the lung, and every song I write remains unsung. My coffee cup has lost its early steam. I wake right in the middle of a dream. The yellow leaves are spinning down the block. I stare into the ticking of the clock. Frost begins to bite the window screen. I count the days of what has never been. Smoke is rising from the corner store, while heavy boots are pacing on the floor. Daylight fades before the clock strikes 5. It takes an effort just to stay alive. I leave the copper coin right where it fell and close the heavy cover on the shelf. The room grows quiet as the evening falls. Shadows lengthen on the plaster walls. Another season slipping out of sight. I turn the lamp down low and kill the light. Meadow bristles scrape along the curb, pushing crushed dry acorns toward the drain. You lean your head against the balcony rail, watching autumn strip the neighborhood again. We have sat out here through every shift, trading coats whenever wind turned cold. Now the maple down the alley drops its rust, settling soft between the park sedans and dust. You take a sip and ask how long we stay before the frost locks up the yard for good. You watch the geese cut angles through the haze, while diesel exhaust mingles with wet pine. Remembering how July burned through our days, before the shadow stretched across the line. And as the asphalt chills beneath your shoes, we count the yellow leaves we have to lose. Remember when we walked the river trail, dodging greenbriers, climbing up the fence. Now the current runs a darker slate, and the creek bed makes a different kind of sense. You tell me that your brother bought some land where the hemlocks block the winter wind. We listen to the tires splash the puddles clean, washing off the summer mud we used to track. You pull your knitted beanie down your ears and say there is no turning seasons back. You watch the geese cut angles through the haze, while diesel exhaust mingles with wet pine. Remembering how July burned through our days, before the shadow stretched across the line. And as the asphalt chills beneath your shoes, we count the yellow leaves we have to lose. A flock of starlings scatters off the wires, wheeling once before they settle near the roof. I hand you back your lighter and your gloves, grateful that the change of air is proof that nothing in this this valley stays the same. The street sweeper turns around the bend. The smell of cedar drifts across the lane. Put your hands in your pockets, old friend. Wait for the coming of the rain. A rusted pipe rattles against the wall, marking the hours we talk through the fall. You pull your collar high against the gust, while yellow leaves turn slowly into dust. I watch your breath form clouds of silver gray, wondering how much longer we can stay. Old bricks hold the chill of an early freeze, while bare branches fracture the autumn breeze. You step through puddles where the ice is thin, and autumn ends before the snow sets in. A stray cat darts behind a wooden crate. We stand and wait beside the iron gate. You check your watch and brush away the dirt, complaining that the wind has cut your shirt. Old bricks hold the chill of an early freeze, while bare branches fracture the autumn breeze. You step through puddles where the ice is thin, and autumn ends before the snow sets in. No words are needed when the weather turns, just fading warmth where summer embers burn. Let's walk another block before it gets too dark, and watch the frost take over Tompkins Park. Four digits glowing blue across the desk, cut in the thick and heavy summer air. I count the beats until the window pane stops rattling from the passing freight train. 10 years from now this room will hold a tree, if concrete splits the way it did back home. Roots will lift these floorboards by 35, green shoots curling under the heavy oak shade. I picture sitting here with gray in my beard, watching wild ivy climb up the window frame. Dust motes are floating lazy in the beam of afternoon that lingers till it burns. I wonder if my hands will still be warm when cicadas repeat this exact same tune. The leaves outside are turning early gold before the heat has even started to break. I hold my breath and
nature reclaims what we try to cage. 4 digits fading as the shadows grow. Another season waiting in the floor. I close my eyes and let the forest in.
The weight of the chair on the linoleum floor still echoes the pace of 24. You paced out a rhythm that nothing could cure, while autumn outside got heavy and poor. The map on the wall had a coffee stain right where we planned to go before the first heavy snow. You kept all your sweaters in a cardboard box by the door, believing the landlord would never inspect the 3rd floor. I wish I could tell you the freight train stopped getting so loud, and the city looks smaller when viewed from inside of a cloud. October brought wind that would rattle the glass. We watched all the green turn brittle and pass. You typed out long letters you never would send, convinced that 26 was the end of the bend. The kettle whistled a tune that we hated to hear. The coldest month of the year. You kept all your sweaters in a cardboard box by the door, believing the landlord would never inspect the 3rd floor. I wish I could tell you the freight train stopped getting so loud, and the city looks smaller when viewed from inside of a cloud. The trees drop their armor for winter to claim, and nobody calls me by that old middle name. I finally learned how to bake honest bread and listen to everything wise people said. The chair hasn't moved from that corner at all. It waits for the shadow to stretch on the wall. Just burn up the paper and pull down the blinds. Leave everything heavier back there behind.
That heavy wooden swivel chair still presses deep into the cedar floor. I sit here listening to late October tap against the sliding door. You were 20 then, staring at bare branches in the early frost, thinking every petal drop meant something permanently lost. The night smells like copper and wet fallen leaves. I pull your old oversized sweater down past my sleeves. Stop gripping the railing when November strips the backyard clean. Those frozen roots beneath the topsoil always hold their hidden green.
I promise you the river breaks its ice before the second thaw, and every bitter season brings you something better than you saw. You paced until 3 in that basement room, waiting on the spring. You found broken robin shells and swore the garden wouldn't sing. Look through my window now, the blackbirds gather on the telephone wire. And autumn isn't dying out, it sets the maple woods on fire. The steam from my mug drifts against the darkened glass. I wish I could show you how quick the longest blizzards pass. Stop gripping the railing when November strips the backyard clean. Those frozen roots beneath the topsoil always hold their hidden green. I promise you the river breaks its ice before the second thaw. Every bitter season brings you something better than you saw. I cut my hair short and set river stones along the ledge. I walked across the snowdrifts that you dreaded at the edge. The birch bark peels away, so new the timber learns to brave the cold. You are going to like the quiet man we grew to be, growing old. The chair creaks softly as the south wind shakes the frame. The dark soil sleeps under frost, but it remembers your name. Take one slow breath, let the seasons do their work. The sharp scent of damp pine needles lingers on the curb, where the neighborhood kids left their scooters in the mud. He adjusts his collar against the October chill, watching copper leaves slide down the windowsill. A sudden drop in temperature makes every footstep sound like coins falling onto the freezing pavement ground. He walks past the bakery where rye bread is baking, while the autumn wind sets every branch to shaking. An old stray dog follows 3 paces behind as the fading daylight leaves the streets blind. Two blocks down, a chimney begins to softly smoke, carrying the quiet stories of the folks who woke. He digs deep inside his canvas coat for keys, counting out the hours through the turning trees. Seasons shift without a warning in this zip code, leaving heavy coats upon the iron rod node. He turns the corner right before the streetlights glow, stepping through the puddles where the maples grow. The smell of damp pine finally fades into the dark as he locks his heavy front door against the park. Why does the dogwood keep shedding early, while the maples still hold on to rust? I trace a circle in dashboard dust, watching my own breath blur the glass. Coffee cup rings fade on the passenger seat, while autumn leaves bury the concrete street. I turn the key and let the cylinders hum, wondering which direction I should become. Traffic lights blink through a haze of pollen, or maybe it is just willow fuzz drifting by. My hands feel heavy upon the steering wheel, and nothing here asks for a reason why. I roll the window down an inch to feel the chill. A sudden gust of wind runs down the hill, bringing the sharp and heavy scent of pine, reminding me that nothing here is mine. The engine ticks as it begins to cool beneath the shadow of an empty school. I step outside and lock the heavy door, leaving my jacket on the dusty floor.